Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Pulp Crazy. I'm your host, Jason Aiken. In this week's episode, I will be discussing two short stories written by pulp authors that are about Batman. 2014 marks the 75th anniversary of The Dark Knight Detective. His first appearance was in Detective Comics number 27, which first hit the stands on March 30th, 1939, making this past Sunday his 75th birthday. It's no secret pulp heroes played a major influence in the creation of Batman. But what some people might not know is that two pulp authors have actually written Batman stories. There may be more than these two, but I'm not aware of them. The two Pulpsters that I know of are Walter Gibson and Isaac Asimov. Walter Gibson is best known for writing the Shadow pulp magazine, under the byline of Maxwell Grant. It's no surprise that he's a great fit for Batman, as the Shadow was one of the pulp characters who most likely inspired the Caped Crusader. Walter Gibson's The Batman Encounters Greyface was published in Detective Comics number 500 in March of 1981. It's a prose story with accompanying illustrations by Tom Yates. The story takes place in Gotham City's Chinatown and has Batman pitted against Greyface, an underworld figure and pirate from the Orient. Greyface's nationality is unknown, but he does have Malaysian servants. It's no surprise that Gibson excels in describing Gotham City's Chinatown, given his years of experience writing shadow stories. He also uses his background as a stage magician when it comes to having Batman evade traps and escape from near unescapable bonds. This was Walter Gibson's last published work, and it's great to know he went out with a story in such a high-profile anniversary issue featuring a super popular character. I came away from reading this thinking I'd better start reading some shadow stories, because I've been missing out on this guy's writing. I'll have to remedy that this summer. Isaac Asimov is well known for his science fiction stories, but it also seems he enjoyed a good mystery as well. I read Isaac Asimov's Northwestward in the Further Adventures of Batman collection, edited by Martin H. Greenberg. It was published by Bantam Books in 1989. Northwestward features characters from his Black Widower's mystery stories. This is the 61st story in the series. The Black Widowers is a gentleman's only dining club of sleuths. The club's guest in this particular story is Bruce Wayne. In an interesting twist, he is the real-life Bruce Wayne, who is the inspiration for the Batman character. Bruce Wayne has come to question the trustworthiness of his butler, Cecil Pennyworth, nephew to Alfred Pennyworth. He comes to the Black Widowers for a second opinion after being unable to come up with a solution to his problem. As a side note, the Black Widowers mention a handful of other literary heroes, and even mention Robert E. Howard and Conan. This was a great little mystery story. I went in without knowing anything about the Black Widowers, but after reading this, I definitely want to read more stories featuring them. I also like the way Asimov wrote a Batman story without it being about the actual fictional character. It reminds me of something Philip Jose Farmer would do. I highly recommend reading this. It seems to be available in a handful of collections. I'd recommend getting it in the Further Adventures of Batman, though. It has a great Kyle Baker cover and has a great lineup of artists within. I really enjoyed both of these stories and will be reading more Batman prose fiction for sure. If you know of any other pulp writers who have written Batman stories, drop me a line and let me know. I'd appreciate it. I'm a little surprised DC hasn't done a high-profile anthology of Batman fiction lately. The character is well suited for prose, which is most likely due to his pulp roots. Heck, the topic of the pulp's influence on Batman could probably last an episode or two in of itself. From what I understand, some of the early Batman stories are swiped from the pulps. I think one of them is a Shadow story, and I believe another is a Secret Six pulp story. Maybe I'll do some episodes on them in the future. That's it for this week's episode. Pulp Crazy is located at pulpcrazy.com. I'm at Pulp Crazy on Twitter and facebook.com/pulpcrazy. My YouTube channel is located at youtube.com/pulpcast. You can also email me at pulpcrazy@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.